Marketing is quite interesting. It's not just a place where you are just looking for a job. It's gonna show when you can't apply yourself creatively. Everything you do tells a story because you are going to be working in an industry where you have to tell a story. That's basically what marketing is.
But that is such a South African thing. We make a plan. We figure it out. We're incredibly resourceful.
I'm using AI a lot. AI can be your personal assistant. Then you need to start thinking about how can you use your time.
Hello, and welcome to South Africa Tech Marketers, where I uncover the journeys of marketers who are absolutely thriving in South Africa and beyond in the hope of helping you do the same. My name is Kirsty Lang. I'm a senior content writer working remotely in Cape Town for a tech company called Buffer, and I'm thrilled to be joined in the virtual studio by someone who is also bringing their marketing talent to the global stage. But before we get into that, this show, as always, is brought to you by the Global Talent Company, which aims to help marketers based in South Africa find their dream remote jobs at incredible tech companies all over the world. So if you're a marketer looking for your next gig, or you are looking to recruit some amazing South African talent, definitely check out their website, globaltalent.co. I'll include that in the show notes as well. Now, with me today is Monde Mtolo, Digital Director at Stratitude. Thank you so much for making the time to chat today, Monde.
Thank you for having me here. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. It seems exciting. So yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of questions that I have for you after looking at your LinkedIn profile and all of the cool things you were doing at Stratitude. So I would love to start by talking a little bit about your career journey and where you started and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah,
Big
it's
question.
been quite an interesting journey, actually. Growing up, I used to find marketing interesting. Obviously, when you were looking at watching those ads on TV, for me, what was always fascinating was what was the thought process behind this whole thing, like the thinking behind to me at that point I always thought, what does the life of marketers look like? It looks like they really have a lot of fun because you look at the end result, and it's such a fun ad. It's always exciting. So I think even before I went to university, I was drawn to marketing because I liked what they were working on, the end result, even though I didn't know what actually goes on behind it. So I think the love started there. And then I went to university where I enrolled for a Bachelor of Business Science and basically do everything there. And I slowly, initially, when I started, I was really for computer programming. So that's what I focused on. And then when I started doing a bit of marketing, I was like, okay, so this is it. So that's when it actually started happening. I was like, oh, okay, this is the marketing that I've always been interested in because we did a lot of things there, from finance to law to business management. But I was like, okay, I'm interested in marketing and finance because that's where those were my two majors in university. So into marketing, into finance, and I came to a decision in we worked on a lot of projects, especially during my second year. That's where the fun stuff started happening, where you need to create strategies now, look at what is happening out there, look at the information, start creating ads. That's when we started having fun, when we're exposed to the world of like the actual creation of ads, what goes into it. And I think what also fascinated me the most was the psychology part of it.
Yes. I love this.
So
okay. Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, so this is how we actually work around people's emotions, thinking, the how we ensure that they have the right perception of our brand. And like that was like, yeah, I was mind blown by the psychology part of marketing because I mean, I've always thought psychology was a thing that is done by the medical industry, the psychologists. So I would have never thought actually so much goes into marketing when it comes to psychology. So it really made me excited to also go down that path. But to cut the long story short, did my marketing, and then I continued to major in marketing and finance during my third year. Crazy year, very
That
difficult.
sounds really tough.
But I made it through because initially what I wanted to do on my third year, second and third year, was I wanted to hold on to marketing, finance, and software, computer programming. But then
Yes,
it
all
came,
very easy courses. Yeah.
but my challenge was that, okay, they're saying I still need to do maths, which I was like, okay, no, if I want to do computer programming, then I need to do maths, and I'm not in the
Oh.
mood for that. I know I can handle it, but no, I can't
Fair
do
enough.
it. I don't want to do it. So yeah, that's how I really ended up with just marketing and finance. And then the start of my career actually happened in 2017, where I started operating as a freelance marketer. But how did that happen was um the Bachelor of Business Science degree was a 4-year degree. And then I was like getting to 2016, which was my third year. At the end of it, I'm like, okay, you know what? I think I'm ready now. I want to go to work. So I do not
Yeah,
want to
we've
do,
done it, guys. Thank you so much.
yeah, I do not want to do one more year of university. And then went to the university, asked them to actually change my degree and credit me for a Bachelor of Commerce degree because I had done everything. And then we went through the whole process. They credited me only to realize that I had one module that was not matching. A
No.
single module that was so easy, but I had to do it. So in 2017, I had one module to do for the whole year, and
Oh my
it was
gosh.
second semester. So now that's where I was like, okay, I have a whole year. I have nothing to do. So Monday,
That sounds
what
lovely.
can you do?
Okay, but no, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
tricky.
that's then as I started to think, like, what do I need to do? I want to make money. I'm bored. And then I came across Canva.
Hey,
Ah,
okay.
I was
I
like,
love this journey.
okay, there's something like this. Okay, Canva, what can you do? And I realized, okay, I've never studied anything with graphic design, but this tool is actually going to make me a hot shot in the industry.
And
So,
that was Canva was still quite early. Like I
yeah,
don't think I started using Canva until about like 2019-ish. So
is it?
yeah, you were an early adopter there.
Yeah, no,
I
I
may be
caught
talking
it
absolute
very
rubbish,
early.
but
So yeah, I mean, once I got to know Canva, I realized that actually I can start offering services to small businesses and individuals who actually need any creative work. So yeah, that's where I got my title as a designer. And then I started working. Fortunately, I had always known people who had small businesses. Because in my earlier years, I was a DJ. So
okay.
that's where
Funnily enough, you're the second DJ I've had on the podcast this week.
oh, interesting.
I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it after the call. If folks haven't listened
Yeah.
to the recording with Devlin yet, do go and do that. We talk about his DJing
Oh,
business.
okay.
Back to Monde.
I'll definitely go to that. So
Okay.
yeah, I did know of a couple of business people, and then I started servicing them. And then it actually expanded from there. I found myself doing menus for restaurants,
That's
designing
cool.
logos. And in fact, I was very excited when I saw one of the people I used to DJ with using my logo, branding everything they had, to a point that I started seeing it at, I don't know if you know of Air Dini Lounge in Durban. So it used to
No.
be, yeah, I think the term used to be is correct. So it used to be a very popular place if you were
Okay.
a person that likes groove, basically.
Okay, sure.
To go there.
Yeah, I haven't been
So
out in Durban a whole lot, sadly. Or just out a whole lot, really, if I'm being
yeah,
honest.
so when I saw it, they starting to make the rounds. I was like, oh, I'm so proud of my work. And yeah, to be honest, I think logos was one of my strongest things at that time. People needed logos, and I could do it quickly and easily on Canva and make money out of it. The money was good. I was a student, so really had nothing to do with it, no responsibilities. So I earned a lot of money from there. Then again, same year, I came across Wix, the
Okay.
tool
Oh,
that is
wow.
used
Yes.
for,
Okay.
yeah, Wix designing websites. And I was like, what? So I don't need the technical skills now to design websites. I can just drag, drop, do this and that, and dabble with things, and I have websites. Started offering that as a service, and yeah, yeah, that's how my career started. And freelancing and being a consultant has been the longest part of my career because I still do even today. So that's been the longest part of my career. And it gave me an opportunity to start servicing clients as a freelancer and doing proposals, pitching ideas, thinking of solutions. So I got that early on, and I rolled on with it. And then when I got my first corporate job, 2018, it was not in marketing. It was in a bank.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah. So obviously, me being me, I'm like, well, this is serious money, so I'm going in there. I'm gonna work. And then I still did my work as a marketer, servicing clients. But then yeah, the bank actually took a lot of my time. And
I
at
would
that
imagine
time, I
so.
was like, now I'm in an environment that is very serious. I have to be on the desk all the time. So I survived. Let me call it that. I survived for
Well
a good
done.
1 year, 8 months. But yeah, I was never at place. Like I didn't enjoy it as I enjoyed everything that has to do with marketing. And then as my work started growing, happening, I explored other opportunities out there. And this one day, when I was moving to my first apartment after university, because I was staying at rest, so I was shopping furniture, and then I came across a I don't know if you know Decofan, probably you do.
Yes. Yeah.
So I
Great. A
came
great
across them,
shop
and I'm
for
like,
affordable furniture.
exactly. So I was
Hmm.
like, okay, there's something like this. This furniture is actually very reasonably priced. Maybe I can start something out of it. And then I started selling furniture on Meta. What is it called? The
Marketplace.
marketplace. Yeah,
Okay.
marketplace.
I love
Started
that. That's so resourceful.
yeah,
Little
started
markup.
uploading the furniture there, and that's how I came about with a business called Dream Home Furniture. We started selling furniture, and that's where I also got to learn a lot in terms of running an e-commerce business, because then it was purely e-commerce. Built my own website and had to run the full marketing of the business, and my wife actually helped me with the other operations of the business, and we ran it together. So I was full on the marketing and leader of the business at that time, and I was making deliveries over the weekends. Like, I have my 9 to 5 during the week, and then you go and make deliveries over the weekend. And then sometimes you'll have those people who say, I want it tomorrow. And there were times where I'd have to look at, okay, if I can make this delivery at 6 a.m. in the morning, I'll still make it on time at work. So,
Oh my
and
gosh.
yeah, at times I would go to work with a TV stand in my car so that I can quickly go during lunch, make the delivery, and then
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
so yeah, it was fun. It really was fun. And then I came to make a decision in 2019 September, that you know what, I just want to go full on the shop. and focus on it. So I left my banking job, focused on dream home furniture. It did successfully well. And then COVID came.
Oh, bless
Yeah.
you. Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so COVID came, took away everything. We had to close shop, and the biggest issue with Decofen is that they import products. So even though the market was open a couple of months later, but I still couldn't get the product. So I was paying rent because we had a physical shop in Devon, and money was not coming in. So I was like, you know what? Cut my losses, stop it there, and thankfully, I was always a marketer through all of that. And that's how I survived and continued to make money and be able to afford myself all of the time. So, yeah, I think then I went back to actually, I was recruited by a company that sells an educational software. And then
Okay.
that's how I came to Johannesburg, and that was in 2021. So I had closed my shop in 2020 June. Yeah, it was June, and then continued with my work. And then 2021 February, I came to Johannesburg, and then I worked there. It was interesting. That would be a story for another day.
Moving to Joburg, yes, yes.
Yeah, moving to
Thoughts and
Joburg.
prayers?
That environment where I was working, the product was exciting that I was working on, but still, I could not be the marketer that I wanted to be. So I left the organization and I continued freelancing, expanded my business, and yeah, that's so. I think one key thing that worked throughout my career is that I always had clients to service. And whenever I stopped working or took a break, I had clients to sustain me. And it helped to build those good relationships because I'm at a point now where I am I have great relationships with great people, CEOs and everything. But I realized where I had to learn all of that to build those small relationships, maintain them, and then they're really working for me right now. And then I joined another company in the rentals and car sales industry in 2022 as a marketing associate there. And yeah, it was fun and everything. But then my career was sort of changing the direction from marketing into managing their what is it? Their whole, where do you find the cars? The showroom. Their showrooms.
It's like a
Okay.
garage?
Yeah, so my career was sort of taking a different direction from marketing, driving the business in terms of getting the sale, the leads and driving the leads and getting the brand out there. It was now going into managing the showroom.
Yeah.
So
It's funny how
I
that happens. When you get really good at something, suddenly you're managing things and it's a completely different job. Yeah.
sure. So I got to a point where I'm like, I do not love this, and I can see where it's going. If I now have to move my office into the showroom, there was an office there within the showroom. I can see that okay, something is going wrong here, and I don't want to be here. Like I do like the showroom. I definitely want to be selling these cars. The business is going to grow obviously from this, but no, this is not where I want to be. And then that's where the relationship ended. So it was a very tough decision to make because again, you're looking at I have this income, and then if I drop it, ish, I'm not going to have this income. Um, so I took a leap of faith and dropped it. And thankfully, again, the businesses that I've always served, they were always there and everything was fine. And I found myself going back to church. And yeah, my life changed. 3 months down the line, after making that decision to leave that company, Stratitude wants me to be part of them. And that's how I ended up being part of Stratitude. And man, I love being here.
Oh, I love that. That's such
Uh,
a great end to the story. I was like, I thought you were gonna be like, no, I'm moving on. Because agency work, right?
yeah,
It sounds a lot like what you were doing in your own business and like all of those skills that you picked up along the way.
yeah, absolutely. So when I started here, I was a paid media specialist. So basically, running the show as far as paid media is involved. So again, it did definitely did help that I had been working with different clients and small and big. So when I came to the agency environment for the first time formally, I was completely fine because I had been used to doing that kind of work, even though it was at a smaller scale, but now it was just a matter of scaling. And that was completely fine with me. And where I think was a great thing to have for me was after having been through all of this journey or part of this journey, all these years where I was doing this, doing that, changing environments, I realized when I came to Stratitude was that, man, I have a diverse set of skills. And I'm bringing this into this environment and it really works. And that's what really made me unique. And it also gave me an advantage, not just within the agency as an employee, but in terms of the work that I can do and the quality that I can deliver. For an example, I had done computer programming, and it is something that I had continued to do, including websites, even though I was designing them on Wix, which is a drag and drop thing, but I was applying myself in terms of coding certain things just to personalize them. I didn't realize that coming into this environment, I'm now dealing with websites and apps, and I have to install tracking codes and all of that. So now I'm coming with this whole knowledge of coding and I'm bringing it into this environment. Now it changes the conversation that I'm having with the development team. Because when I'm saying, guys, the website is not working, can you change this? If we want to track certain buttons, I was in a position of being able to say, here is the tracking code, just plug and play. So even the creative elements, I'm not a designer here, but I could tell because it's something that I had been doing it for years. I got to a point whereby I understand the dynamics that come into design, even things that are basic like do's and don'ts. You know that, okay, I'm able to advise and guide when it comes to this. So, yeah, the whole journey really equipped me to get to where I am. And it's exciting. I'm really enjoying my work to a point that even the I think I'm gonna have to give credit where it's due. Like even the agents, the culture they have, it's actually amazing. For the first
That's
time, and
great.
I've never said that publicly, but for the first time, I have never put in sick leave because I didn't want to come to work.
Oh,
Like I'll
bless
be
you.
honest, I had
Yeah.
done that before.
I think
I think
everyone
yeah,
is like, oh my gosh, I need to take a minute. Like, and that is, and it's not like this is off the path a little bit, but like, I don't think that's a bad use of your sick leave because it's important for your mental health. And if the culture at a company is impacting your mental health, then you should step away.
yeah,
But I'm
that's
really
true.
glad to hear that you haven't had to do that.
No, I haven't had to do that, and that it's one of the things that always make me enjoy coming here because it's not even just the work environment. I think the clients that we have also are quite interesting. They're very diverse, so it really works for me, and it gives me an opportunity to apply me to yeah being better than ever before. So that's
I
how I
love
ended up
that.
being the digital director.
That's so cool because I think your journey is, I mean, I've spoken to dozens of marketers at this point, and your journey is so, so unique because you went straight into freelance and you went straight into consulting. I think most people will do that when they're like 4, 5, 6 years in and they're like, oh, okay, I know what I'm doing. I can pick this up. But you really learned like on the job. You were doing the work alone, completely alone.
Yeah.
You didn't have
Hello.
anyone to kind of fall back on. You just had to deliver. And I think that has, from what I can hear, it has forged you into a really unique marketer because you have so many different kind of transferable skills. And another thing that I love, sorry, I was just like, these were all popping into my head while you were telling your story. But another thing that I love is your journey is so indicative of like the South African work ethic. Like you're like, okay, I've still got to do another module. I need to earn money. I'm going to make a plan. What tools are there available for me? Canva, great. Wix, great. Hey, I could set up a business reselling this furniture that's really affordable. Fantastic. I love how you just solve the problems as they were thrown at you. You were just like, pew, 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 figuring it out as you go along. And that is such, and I mean, not all South Africans are like this, but that is such a South African thing. We make a plan. We figure it out. We're incredibly resourceful. And you're such a great example of that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, to be honest, I always hear people saying, I mean, I do understand we do have issues as far as employment is concerned. But I don't think we're in a country that limits us in a way that we have access to a lot of things. We have access to maybe not rural areas, but if you are someone from the city, you have access to resources. You should take every opportunity to learn because there's things out there. If you're not asking the questions, you'll not find out. Because that's when I didn't find Canva and Wix by chance. I started asking questions on what can I do? What tools are out there that I can use? And maybe someone might say, this is not relevant to me. I don't even have access to the internet. Sharp. But then what about the university student who has access to internet at university? Then you need to start thinking about how can you use your time to actually do and learn those things and actually apply for yourself. Because I am finding it interesting. You know, one of the things that I always look at and I'm like, oh, okay. It's when you come across CVs in 2025 and yeah, it looks like it was done in 1918. Not that
Okay,
I'm judging.
tell me the specifics. Tell me the specifics. So I think a lot of people listening to this are going to be like, wait, is my CV like that?
All right. So I am a marketer and everything you do tells a story because you are going to be working in an industry where you have to tell a story. That's basically what marketing is. It requires you to be creative, even if you are actually. I don't see any part in our value chain because we are a full service agency. So you're dealing with all the different parts that you would find in an agency, even if you're doing one things or two things. So you see how all of these things come into play. And I don't see any of those areas where you do not need to apply your creativity. So now you are sending a CV, plain white document, name Monde, surname Mtolo, date of birth, license, code, or whatever. That structure. Your opening sentence or line or headline is like, I am a hard worker. I mean, that kind of thinking. So to me, I'm like, it's 2025. There's tools to make this look appealing. There's tools to make this look different. You have AI to write your CV for you. You just need to plug in information and then it's going to spit out a high quality CV for you, whether you have experience or not. So if your CV looks like that, what are the briefs going to look like? What is the actual output going to look like? And again, it's not a matter of saying you have to have it all figured out, but for me, the CV is the first point of contact that actually makes me believe that you know what you're doing or not. You have, as an example, you have Canva. So why not build a demo portfolio of the work that you can do? Because
Yes.
if you are coming
Yes.
into as a designer and you're saying you've never done any professional work, you're coming straight from university or college, and then you want to get into the workspace, what do you have? You have tools that where you can actually showcase your skills. You have platforms like Wix where you can actually build sample websites and just showcase, have fun. So for me, it's the thing of maybe I'm also a bit biased because that's my personality. But then again, if I'm gonna work with you, then probably it is best that I work with someone who's like who thinks like outside of the box.
I hear you. I hear you. It's such an important point that you make about being able to market yourself as a marketer. If you can't do that, then can you, do you know what I mean? There's such
Yeah.
an important correlation there. But also I will counter your points, and maybe you're also saying this as well. But a lot of the company application processes at the moment, especially if you're applying for like big international or remote companies, they will have filtering systems that read your CV and then plug it into their system. And oftentimes, if you have a beautiful PDF, it doesn't know where the information is and it struggles to translate that information into the system. And so when the hiring manager, who's processing thousands of emails or thousands of CVs, comes, or wait, they don't have any experience, this is not populated, sorry, rejection. So there is definitely a balance. But to your point about, do you need to include your school, or do you need to include your driver's license if that's not relevant for your career? Using words like hardworking, that's quite empty. Like, what have you done? What can you do? What results have you driven? So that, I think that's such a great point. And also your point about portfolio as well. Like, that is such a wonderful space to be creative.
Yep, that's true. Like these days, it's show and tell. So
Yes.
again, if you have the opportunity, you have no excuse. Use it to your advantage because at the end of the day, it's all about you. And I've also always said that marketing is quite interesting. It's not just a place where you you are just looking for a job, because it's gonna show when you can't apply yourself creatively and it doesn't come from you. Because I've noticed that the people who actually succeed, you look at the campaigns and listen to the story behind this campaign, you're like, this person lives marketing. And it's so easy to differentiate between people who are just doing it and those who actually live it. And I always say that if you don't want to be in this space and can't apply yourself, I don't think you should be in there just for the sake of getting a job, because it's going to be visible. It's going to be seen. Like when you're a designer and you don't like designing, but you're doing it because it's what you started and wanted to make money, then it's going to show and tell. Because at the end of the day, it's almost like art. I'm not going to start doing pottery because I think there's opportunities to make money there. I actually need to love it, because then what I have inside is going to show in that thing that I'm making. So it's also the thing of, the wrong idea or perception about marketing, in that the barrier to entry is low. Maybe it is low. Maybe you can start using Canva and offering services, but you also need to bring yourself, and you need to actually show that you love this thing that you're doing. You don't have to be perfect when you're starting out. You don't have to be clued up with everything, but eventually it's going to show that whether this is part of you or not. So I think that's one of the most important things with marketing, because when I find it interesting these days when you're coming across a post on LinkedIn, it's a young person that is looking for a job. And I don't remember this guy, but he designed a nice poster And the words were like, what? I heard you're hiring, like in bold, and it looked amazing. And then he went to speak about himself and why he thinks he should be the hire that you should the best person for whatever that you're looking for. And I was like, wow, okay, this person, I can already tell that you took time to design this to make yourself stand out. Already, I can tell that this is what you're going to be applying to your work. So, with or without experience, you've already shown the character that is needed into making this work. So, yeah.
I think it is definitely an industry that requires you to put your whole heart and soul in it. And you can be a marketer and produce work that is fine, or you can be a marketer that produces exceptional work, and that requires a lot of heart.
That's true. That's true. I like how you put it there. So yeah, because we need exceptional work. It's like if you look at the film industry, you can tell a great movie from just a movie, and we know how the story ends for just a movie, and it's all about that. This, unfortunately, this is the kind of work that people are gonna see and experience. So if they are not experiencing you, yeah, it's not gonna do great, if I can put it like that.
So, Monde, we've talked a whole bunch about tools and systems that you love. I was hoping we could chat a little bit about how you are using AI, if you are using AI in your work.
Okay. So I'm using AI a lot. I think one of the interesting things, Stratitude is actually a partner to Fea. So it's an AI marketing tool that, as a marketer, one of the challenges that you will experience is that you have data here, you have data there, and it doesn't communicate. So what this tool does, it just basically brings everything together, and you can analyze all of your data from one dashboard and make decisions. It even gives you recommendations. Like it can tell you that reduce text on this ad, reduce copy on this ad, you have broken links on your website. So
Okay, I need to get
I have that tool. It's actually a powerhouse. Like it really is a powerhouse. But other than that, because you don't have to pay for everything. One of the things that people, I think, are sleeping on. In general, people are talking about AI, but I don't think people are using AI, unlocking the potential that it has. One of the things that when I look at where I am right now and how I use AI, I can confidently say that I'm doing at least what would have required 4 people 2 years ago.
I feel the same.
That's how AI is evolving. And I'll be honest with you, I go home on 5 p.m. I spend time with my kids. I spend time with my wife. So when people speak about working long hours as a marketer, I don't experience that, but I still deliver. Why? Because of AI. And I've embraced AI and I know what I need to do and when. If you look at something as simple as ChatGPT, ChatGPT is a powerful tool and it's free. Initially when I started, I used to come and say, okay, I know, let's say you are coming across a report. You have your data, it's there, and you know what it means, but you need to come up with findings and type all of that. You can easily today take a screenshot of that part of your report, plug it on ChatGPT and say, analyze this for me, give me findings. It does all of the work for you and you are done. What would have taken an hour to do, you've done in 5-10 minutes. And it doesn't end there. AI can be your personal assistant. And one of the ways that I've used ChatGPT in addition to the other tools that I have, again, I'm focusing on the free ones because some people like saying, money, money, money. But that's not always the case. So with ChatGPT, there's something called GPTs. It's basically like taking ChatGPT and instructing it that I want you to do this thing like this and spit it up like this for me. So sometimes you will have a report or you want information structured in a certain way. And you can create GPTs and tell it, I need you to operate like this. Like when I give you a screenshot of data or something as small, one of the interesting things that I've done is I use it to manage my budgets. And as a typical example, as a marketer, one of the things that well, maybe me being in paid, I've always been worried about, am I spending the right amounts of money? Sure, there are tools to help you manage that, but then you don't have those tools. So there's something for free. So I created a GPT whereby I'm able to say, this is how much I'm supposed to spend for the month. This is how much I've spent to date. And tell me whether I'm on the mark, off the mark, and advise me on how I should spend my budgets daily going forward. And I've taken it a step further and told it that these are the campaigns I'm running that are ongoing. 5 campaigns, each is spending 500 rands a day, or maybe one is 1,000 rands a day, one is 500 rands. I tell it that when you look at the budgets that I have to spend for the remainder of the month, I need you to also adjust the budgets for each of these campaigns proportionately to how they are currently spending. So if one campaign is taking up 30% of the daily budget, when you make the change, do the same thing. And it gives me exactly how much I should be changing for each campaign. I haven't touched my calculator. I haven't tried to figure out how much I should be spending, how much that activity used to take me a lot of time.
Yes.
And
Oh my gosh, the like mental gymnastics involved in that is nuts. I love this.
And the fears that come with the fact that you
Very
could get
easy
it
to make
wrong.
mistakes. Yeah.
Oh my God, that used to give me a lot of anxiety. Like,
I'm so glad I've never worked in paid. It sounds terrifying. With thoughts and prayers to you,
scary.
I'm very glad you have a GPT to help you and support you.
Yeah, no, it really takes away all of that. Obviously, I don't do that now, but there's ways to use AI to your favor. There's information that's readily available out there that you can just, yeah, otherwise have conversations with people who are doing it, who have done it. And yeah, I think also actually something I forgot to mention was that one of the greatest contributors to my career is the fact that I followed the right people on LinkedIn. I know that so and so is an expert in Google Ads. I follow them because they all know about certain news and changes that I don't get time to know about. And then I'm following someone else who's an expert in UX. Because sometimes we forget about UX. Again, maybe it works for me because I've been in design, web development, so I kind of get that. But even if you don't know, follow those people who know the work that you want to know, and then you learn from them. That's probably the biggest hack that I've had. That people who know this, I follow them on LinkedIn, and they're sharing every day. Like you'll hear about things that you didn't even think about. Like Google is changing this. Oh, there's that change. Okay, what are you
Google
guys doing
and
about
the changes? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, that's such a great tip. We should totally, this has sparked such a great idea. We should totally like curate a list of must follows on LinkedIn for the SA tech marketers community. And we can be like, okay, follow Monde for paid ads, follow Kirsty for content. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be such a cool resource. I'm literally going to go and kick this off. I think that is the perfect note to end on. Monde, I had a couple of other questions planned for you, but you answered them incidentally. There are so many great actionable pieces of advice that you've shared in this episode. Thank you so much for that. where can people find you if they want to see more of your work, if they want to work with you? Where's the best place for that?
LinkedIn is probably the best place to start, because then there's information about me. You can see what I've been working on. And you can also get links to our current portfolio. But otherwise, you can always email me at monde@stratitude.co.za. I'm happy to chat. I'm happy to meet. I'm happy to have coffee. There's always opportunities. I think, I'm very open to having a chat if anyone needs help with anything, because there's so much happening in marketing. There's so much that's changing. There's a lot. And especially if you're a young person, or maybe not young, because some people actually are old and they change careers. So if you are new in the industry, so you
Like
also
me.
changed.
I did. I was a journalist about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you are not far off from the industry.
True. I mean, I don't know if we can really call that a pivot. It was more of a sidestep. But yeah, that's a great point. I love that. Yes. On that note about mentorship and connecting with folks, I will definitely be extending an invitation to Monde for the SA Tech Marketers community. So hopefully you will find him there and be able to chat with him there as well. You can also find me there. It is very easy to join. I will leave a link below, and it just requires filling out the application form. And we accept new members. At the moment, we are doing it weekly, reviewing new folks, but that may change by the time this episode comes out. So do take that with a grain of salt. Monde, thank you so much for your time. It has been wonderful talking to you, and I'm excited to follow more of your work on LinkedIn.
Oh, it's lovely. Thank you. I actually enjoyed myself, so I'm hoping we'll talk more. Doesn't end
for
here.
Sure. Let's do part 2.
Okay, great. Looking forward to it.
Part 2, yeah.
Okay, cool.